Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Muralishyam, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, we are not able to hear you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Prabhu. Please accept me.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you very much for accepting our request to give your association, Prabhuji, despite your busy schedule. Prabhuji, you want us to share? Yeah, Prabhuji, you can start. Do you want me to share any sloka, or you will be sharing from your side, Prabhuji?
You can share the initial slokas, then later I will take over.
Okay. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevya. So today we are very fortunate to have association of His Grace Muralishyam Prabhu from Sri Lakshmi Narasimha Giridhari Temple, who will be sharing the nectar and his association from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, chapter number 22, sloka number 18 to 20. Over to you, Prabhu.
Namo Vishwapadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bodhale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashata Deshitarani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shadi Gaurokta Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jeva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tado Jayamudire Nashta Prayesha Bhatresha Nityam Bhavada Sevyam Bhavadim Uttama Shlokim Bhaktir Bhavadim Naishti. Today is 18th shloka. Can someone read it, the shloka?
Okay, Prabhuji, I will read, Prabhuji.
Yes, bro.
Sanat Kumāra Uvacha Sadhu Prashtam Mahārāja Sarva Bhuta Hitātmanam Bhavata Vidusha Chapi Sadhu Namati Idrishi. You want me to read the translation?
Yes, bro.
Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Sanat Kumāra said, "My dear King Pṛthu, I am very nicely questioned by you. Such questions are beneficial for all living entities, especially because they are raised by you, who are always thinking of the good of others. Although you know everything, you ask such questions because that is the behavior of saintly persons. Such intelligence is befitting for your position."
Thank you, bro. Next, I think we'll read all three translations alone, bro.
Okay. Translation for sloka number 19. When there is a congregation of devotees, their discussions, questions, and answers become conclusive to both the speaker and the audience. Thus, such a meeting is beneficial for everyone's real happiness. Sloka number 20. Sanat Kumāra continues, "My dear king, you already have an inclination to glorify the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such attachment is very difficult to achieve, but when one has attained such unflinching faith in the Lord, it automatically cleanses lusty desire from the core of the heart."
Thank you, bro. Thank you for it. You can give me sharing right, bro. I'll take over. Hare Krishna, please. Thank you for giving me association. So today is the 18th, 19th, and 20th. First, I will deal the first two questions. So, how being inquisitive leads to spiritual advancement. This is today's topic from the particular shloka. The power of questions we can see. So this is a question asked by Sanatana Goswami to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is very, very learned. He knows many languages. He was a prime minister in sense of big administrator. He was wealthy and he was from a very nice family. So he had everything, and whatever in material world we will feel that a person should possess, he had possessed. So there is no question of he needs any wants. So if he goes to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what will he ask? He asks only two words, K-am-I, who am I? Very simple question, but it was so powerful and it was so pleasing to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was very, very pleased with Sanatana Goswami. Normally he doesn't associate. Pṛthu, he did not even allow him to meet. He made such a, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made Pṛthu's life very miserable. But Sanatana Goswami, he was very, very happy just because he asked one single question. And from that day, they became very, very close associates. Next, Srimad Bhagavatam, we are seeing 7 days, there was only question and answers. Nothing else. They did not do dhyana, they did not do, even it was not a regular chanting session also. Nothing else, no other sadhana was done. Only sadhana was done is question and answers. Similarly, the same question and answers is repeated again when the Srimad Bhagavatam is asked again and become more relatable. So Vyasadeva, instead of recording what was the conversation between Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami, he prefers to register the conversation between Sutta Goswami and Naimisharanya Rishis, because their questions were even more powerful. So this is a question which Bhagavatam starts. After 6 questions are asked, in Bhagavatam, the Sutta Goswami praises the sages like this. Oh, sages, I have been justly questioned by you. Your questions are worthy because they relate to Lord Krishna and sort of relevance to the world's welfare. Only questions of this sort are capable of completely satisfying the self. We are seeing the similar shloka today. Today's shloka and 1.25 is more or less same. So we will see the purport what Prabhupada wrote there also. And after Sukadeva Goswami asked, Parikshit Maharaj asked question, this is what Sukadeva Goswami replies. Varyane Sata Prashna. My dear king, your question is glorious because it is very beneficial to all kinds of people. The answer to this question is the prime subject matter of hearing, and it is approved by all transcendentalists. So the subject is also good, beneficial for everybody, and it is approved by transcendentalists, and question is also glorious. So here we are seeing continuously how the questions are more glorious than even the answers. And this is another Narada glorifying Sattvatas. Sri Narada said, oh, best of Sattvata, you have quite correctly asked about the eternal duty of the living entity toward the Supreme Lord. Such devotional service to the Lord is so potent that its performance can purify the entire universe. So they asked the very, very right questions. We are seeing it. So Chaitanya Charitamrita concludes like this. The form of Srimad Bhagavatam is given in question and answer. Thus the conclusion is established. By hearing these questions and answers, one is highly astonished. So Bhagavatam, according to Chaitanya Charitamrita, is only question and answers. And the whole conclusion is established by question and answer. And by hearing these questions and answers, one is highly astonished. This is a Prabhupada written for the 1.25. Since it has been stated herein before that in Bhagavatam, the absolute truth is to be known. The questions of sages of Naimisharanya are proper and just. Because they pertain to Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the absolute truth. In the Bhagavad-gita, 15.15, the personality of Godhead says that in all the Vedas, there is nothing but the urge for searching for him, Lord Krishna. Thus, the questions that pertain to Krishna are the sum and substance of Vedic inquiry. So first, what is the qualification of the question? The question should be about Krishna. That is the only question which can satisfy everybody. So that is the first qualification for a question. The whole world is full of question and answer. The bird, beast, men are all busy in the matter of perpetual questions and answer. The morning birds in the nest become busy with questions and answer. The human being, unless he is fast asleep at night, is busy with questions and answers. In our mind also always questions and answer goes on. The businessmen in the market are busy with question and answer, and so also the lawyers in the court and students in the schools and colleges. The legislators in the parliament are also busy with question and answer, and the politicians and the press representatives all are busy with question and answer. Although they go on making such question and answer for their whole lives, they are not at all satisfied. Satisfaction of soul can only be obtained by question and answer on the subject of Krishna. So we have to see the power of questions. For the quality of questions. If quality questions are asked, then automatically the whole conversation becomes so worthy that we sit and read. Our sadhana is to read Bhagavatam, Bhagavad-gita, and just try to understand that. And what is that Bhagavatam and Bhagavad-gita? That is again question and answer. Why that whole conversation becomes so glorious? Because the questions were very properly asked. This Sukadeva Goswami doesn't easily answer for everybody or meet anybody, because Parikshit Mahārāja was asking apt questions. So Sukadeva Goswami obliged to Parikshit Mahārāja to answer all his questions. So we can see in Gita and Bhagavatam, few slokas, how the questions control the whole conversation. If the right questions are asked, the conversation is also on the right path. If such a not apt question is asked, the conversation will be diverted and we will not be getting a good conversation. Then the question should be pleasing the speaker. How questions enter the questioner. Here we can see whenever the questions are finished, the speaker first glorifies the question and how he is very pleased by the questions we saw. We can see previous slokas. You are quite correctly asked, he is saying. Narada Muni is saying. My dear king, your question is glorious, Sukadeva Goswami is saying. Your questions are worthy, he is saying. So everywhere, first the questions are prized before even answers are given. So it should be very pleasing to the speaker. How being curious helps us avoid making assumption and thus avoid offenses. The first thing is we have to question. Don't make assumption. Questioning itself is an art. Instead of giving conclusion, first asking a question itself is an art. So we lose relationship because we wrongly either ask questions or make assumption and make some allegations and give a statement. So Guru Maharaj always guides me whenever I speak. I think the only guidance he has given to me is he has told, no, when you speak to seniors, please only ask questions. Always don't give statements or conclusions to them. Don't give your opinion. To seniors, you should not give your opinion. Instead of that, change that opinion into questions. When you change that opinion into questions, that is the way you have to interact with seniors. He has repeatedly told me, though I was not able to implement it fully. But the only instruction, I think the personal instruction he has given to me is, whatever opinions, whatever statements you are giving, change it to a question and ask a senior. He taught me also personally. He told, no, I feel this may be right, maybe I'm wrong. Can we do like this? Like that, instead of saying that this is the best, you put your statement in this way. That's what Guru Maharaj repeatedly told me. So it is not easy to ask question. Normally we speak conclusion, we speak our thoughts, and we give answers. Most of the time we don't question. We always give answers. Most of the time we don't give questions. That is a real problem for us. We have to start asking questions. Then how those questions should be the second part. So first is how being curious. We have to be curious. We should have some curiosity before making conclusions. The quality, first part, we'll see the quality of questions. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjay, after my sons and the Pandu and sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage of Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? This Bhagavad-gita starts with the question. And this is a question by Dhritarashtra, who is not even the glorious personality. But he asked a question which led to Bhagavad-gita. And Sanjay is answering this whole question and gives a conclusion of this question at the 18th chapter, 78th shloka. He gives a conclusion. Wherever Yatra Yogeshwara Partha Tatra Dhanudhara Sri Vijay, he is telling that wherever Krishna is there, wherever Arjuna is there, automatically that place, the victory will be there, opulence will be there, So this is the answer he gives, but to give that answer, he gives a whole Bhagavad-gita. Why he believes that though he is a secretary, he should not answer against the master, but he gives a conclusion, oh dear master, whatever you are saying is nothing going to happen. It is going to happen completely opposite. The whole auspiciation is going to be there in other side because Krishna and Arjuna is there. So he gives conclusion, but he tells the whole Bhagavad-gita for this question. So this question led to the whole 700 shlokas. And it is not that you don't doubt. Even Arjuna doubts Krishna. Arjuna said, the sun god Vivaswan is senior by birth to you. How am I to understand that in the beginning that you instructed the science to him? So it is not blind faith. It is not that we have to not question them. Here Arjuna is also questioning Krishna, but in a proper mood. And this comes in the 4th chapter. Till that time, Krishna gives only philosophy. If you see Bhagavad-gita, 2nd chapter, his whole philosophy is summarized. Whole Bhagavad-gita is summarized. It starts with Atma Tattva, then Karma Kanda, Karma Yoga. Then it goes to how to control the senses. Then how a self-realized portion will be there. So whole conclusion is given. And that itself how we should be transcending the 3 modes, how we should not be attracted by Vedas. The whole, whatever is there in remaining chapters is there in Bhagavad-gita. And Krishna doesn't speak a single word about him. And the 3rd chapter again is asking about whether renunciation is best or I have to be in whatever situation I am there and continue my devotion. Again, he explains of the same philosophy, but a little deeper matter. But there is not a single shloka about him. This 4th chapter, here Arjuna starts questioning him about Krishna himself. Then he starts, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuktana madharmasya tadatmanam sujami. That's where he starts. I'm born in different yugas, and you forget, I don't forget, and why I'm born. Though I'm born, I'm unborn. Like that, he starts slowly speaking about him, and the 9th chapter and 7th chapter is a whole epitome of whom he is, and 9, 10, all those slokas he speaks about him, and 11th he gives even multimedia presentation of who he is and Vishwarupa he shows and explain how he is the Supreme Personality of God and everybody is under him. So, since Arjuna questioned about him, then only the whole Bhagavad-gita becomes personal. Otherwise, it was pure philosophy. After this question, Bhagavad-gita turns into personal and Krishna reveals him. And that is the most authentic, whatever we have heard about Supreme Personality of God. From his mouth itself, that he is a Supreme Personality of God. Yes, we cannot conclude that he is a Supreme Person, though there are so many other sages who have said that he is a Supreme Personality of God. But Bhagavad-gita is the most authentic conclusion where he himself says that I am the Supreme Personality of God. And this came because of this question. And it is not that we should ask only what we don't know. Sometimes some questions are so helpful, though both the questioner knows it, still he asks the questions to make the situation more conducive. Here, Angira Muni is, this whole incident is about Chitraketu and Angira Muni, is asking this question. Before going that, Chitraketu is asking, okay, Chitraketu, Angira Muni is asking, I can observe that your mind is not pleased. You seem not to have achieved your desired goal. Is this because of you yourself or has it been caused by others? Your pale face reflects your deep anxiety. Angira Muni knows what is the reason that he is not having child. That is the reason for the whole anxiety in Chitraketu's mind. But still, without hurting him, without sympathizing for his cause, he asks a right question. He doesn't start the whole conversation saying that you are a fool or why you are so attached to a child. Without a child is also auspicious. Yes, sadhu, he could have spoken very strongly, but still he did not start in the way. He puts a question. He doesn't answer it. He doesn't come with the answer. Though he is a sadhu, he doesn't come with the answer, but he starts with a question. Before that, we'll see few more questions from Srimad Bhagavatam. Since Sri Krishna, the absolute truth, the master of all mystic powers, has departed for his own abode, please tell us to whom the religious principles have now gone for shelter. When Krishna was there, everybody was so protected. They felt that he is there, we can go to him. Whatever he says, whatever he is doing is right. We'll just participate in the war. So after Krishna departs from this planet, everybody is so disturbed. And they're asking, where is the shelter? Then the whole Srimad Bhagavatam is given as a shelter. And that's why our Krishna conscious movement is based on Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam, we have a Bhagavatam class, and Bhagavatam is the main shelter for us. And the devotees associate among ourselves through Bhagavatam. His transcendental acts are magnificent and gracious, and great learned sages like Narada sing of them. Please therefore speak to us who are eager to hear about the adventures he performs in his various incarnations. Krishna's most confidential Leelas, the 10th canto, is epitome of Bhagavatam. And this came because there was right question asked to the right person. If it is not Sukadeva Goswami, we would not have got the glorious pastime Krishna performs in a written form to us, and we would have never known Krishna's ultimate rasa. The king asked Sukadeva Goswami, where and when did the meeting and discussion take place between Saint Vidura and his grace Maitreya Muni? Kindly upload my lord and describe this to us. So this question about Vidura and Maitreya gave us the remaining, other than 10th canto, there are so many other cantos which came because of this one question. Vidura and Maitreya, the whole Bhagavatam is a discussion between Vidura and Maitreya Muni, and they discuss a discussion between Yudhishthira and Narada Muni. Like that, it is a conversation between everybody goes question and answer between another person. Nobody is giving conclusion. Everybody is saying, no, the same question was asked by so and so person, and that is a question they asked, and that was the answer given that time. That whole Bhagavatam is question and answer interlinked with it. Now, so we have to first this, we have to make a powerful question. Second part is the question should be very pleasing to this speaker. Here we can see Sukadeva Goswami, oh Parikshit, although the great sage Angira knew everything, he inquired from the king in this way. Thus King Chitraketu, desiring his son, bent low in great humility and spoke to the great sage as follows. So first he is building the emotions of Chitraketu, touching his heart, so that the Chitraketu is ready for whole exercise. And King Chitraketu, the answer is given, desiring a son, bent low in great humility, ultimately he became humble the way he was questioned and spoke to the great sage as follows. And the final conclusion is the Nectar of Instruction, where Rupa Goswami has given us what as a devotees we have to do. Guhyam Akyadi Prachadi. Confidential topics, Akyadi explain, Prachadi. Revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially. So this is the most important quality of devotees. Unless until we have some relationship with the equals, we cannot survive in Krishna consciousness. Somebody who is only close to juniors and has a club for him and just be with them is not going to survive in Krishna consciousness. Nor if he pleases only his one devotee and doesn't have any relationship with the equals, it is not going to happen. And equals is the place where we confidentially reveal. Because to seniors, it is respectfully revealed, and whatever is said is respectfully accepted. And most of the time, we should not repeatedly question seniors. And with juniors, we should not reveal our inner fears. They themselves have Komala faith, and we cannot reveal our inner fears to them. So the only place the right questions and answers for normal devotees equals, and that too in Kali Yuga, more or less everybody is equal. None of the gurus behave as if they are too great. When it comes to, when you go closer, they also behave like equals. And they ask you how we should do, how we should not do it. And we can see from the great seniors of ISKCON that how they treat us, they don't put themselves as seniors. No, they put you as equals, and they reveal their fears and their doubts, and they ask how it should be done. If you go to Guru Maharaj, you can see that he has never given easily conclusions. He only asks questions. So what are you thinking? So why this way? Why not that way? He repeatedly puts only question. To get an answer from him is very, very difficult. Just to conclude whatever has been said. The third thing is we should not make assumption. This means we have already thought the answers and we are asking questions just to validate the assumptions we have. The great assumptions we see in Bhagavatam is this. Chitraketu was assuming something about Lord Shiva and Parvati, and he asked something, so that's why he was born as a Vritasura. And here we see Parikshit Maharaj assuming something, and he just does something which creates a disaster for his whole life. So this is a conclusion, how we should approach. Tadvidi pranipadena pariprasnena sevya upadekshyanti jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, income from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. So pranipadena sevya, then in between comes pariprasnena. So questioning is there. Before question we should be humble, and after question we should be ready to serve them in the way. So these are the, with the question, these two things should be there. So how to ask a better questions? What are the ingredients of the better questions? It should be innocently curious, asking purely for a discovery. There is no hidden agenda. So question should not be with some ulterior motive. Question is really to question. Only qualification question is to question. There is no hidden agenda. We are not asking question to prove our point or just to trap them. That should not be the intention. Open, making ourselves vulnerable to discovering the answer, even though it may not be what we want to hear. Most of them we don't question because we have the fear that the answer is not suitable to us and we are not ready to receive that answer. That's why we don't question. We should be open for asking questions. And neutral, removing negative feelings, ask the question in neutral tone. So questioning in anger is happening because we have so much emotions have disturbed us. That's why we are not able to put the questions in the right words and right tone. And the question should make the speaker comfortable. Our question should be, the speaker should be making, the question should make the speaker more comfortable so that he is encouraged to give a very honest response. He should not feel very not a conducive environment to speak what he thought. The question should be in a tone which helps them to give the right answers. So this is a conclusion. Before asking questions, these are the questions we should ask. Am I feeling sincere, calm and relaxed, dependent on Krishna? Because the only questions which can please us, the question about Krishna and the questions about Krishna, because we are not dependent on Krishna, we have so much doubts on Krishna's faith. So whether we are dependent on Krishna, that's the first thing. Am I feeling sincere, calm and relaxed? Second, have I given up the need to control how the other person answers? We are innocent, pure, or we are asking questions, something to get out of something from the speaker? Am I willing to hear the answer? After the question is asked, when the answer is given, am I ready to implement it? Am I ready to accept the answer? These are the four qualifications: innocent, open, neutral, inviting. Innocent, open, neutral, inviting. In each, we can give a very big class, but I'm just going fast today. So this is a quality of questions. So how questions control a conversation we saw, and how question should be pleasing to the speaker. And we should really question, but not give have assumptions. And our question should not be an answer, indirect answer. These are the this is the topic today. So we'll again go back to the shloka and see what is that they had asked today.
You want me to open the shloka, Prabhuji, from Bhagavatam?
Yes, please. And just we have to put a shloka. 18. 18. Just the translation part. I hope everybody can read it. Sanat Kumāras said, "My dear King Pṛthu, I am very nicely questioned by you." So he is first glorifying the question. Such questions are beneficial for all living entities. So here also the same thing. It is beneficial for all, especially because they are raised by you. Because question itself, you are glorious. And so your question should be always glorious. Who are always thinking of good for others. So he is glorifying Pṛthu Mahārāja that whatever your intention is also pure. Although you know everything, you ask such question because that is the behavior of saintly person. Such intelligence is befitting your position. So one of the Kumāras is feeling so humble. He's telling, I'm not the right person whom should be questioned. But for some reason, though you know everything, you know the answers, still you are asking us. So we are very, very greatly benefited by your questions. This is second question, 19th. When there is a congregation of devotees, their discussion, question, answers becomes conclusive to both the speaker and the audience. Thus, such a meeting is beneficial for everyone, real happiness. So here they are glorifying the whole environment itself. So such a meeting is beneficial for everyone's real happiness. So Prabhupada, after chanting, the most important thing he has given is Srimad Bhagavatam, which is again a question and answer session. So that's what mostly morning program. Prabhupada was very strict about morning program, not that much strict about the evening program. The morning program concludes with the Bhagavatam class. We have a regular deity worship, attending aartis and singing, all comes under deity worship. Then we have personal sadhana, then Srimad Bhagavatam. And it should be done not privately, with the association of devotees. So residing in holy place and associating devotees automatically happens. Now, the second part of this two is the main part. Actually, the third shloka is different from the theme, but still I will deal it. Sanat Kumara continued, my dear king, you already have an inclination to glorify the... So what is the first answer he is giving for Pṛthu Maharaj? So what is the first point he wants to answer for Pṛthu Maharaj? Here it says, such attachment is very difficult to achieve, but one has attained such unflinching faith in the Lord, it automatically cleanses lusty desires from the core of the heart. So here he is speaking about the attachment to the Lord. So for a person who is in, particularly Grahastha, who is in, like Pṛthu Maharaj, who is into job and everything, the most important thing is their attachment to the Lord. Because when we are in the outside world, we tend to get attached to other temporary things. But these temporary attachment can be reversed by having attachment to the Lord. So the first answer, the first statement which these Kumāras want to make is Pṛthu Maharaj attachment to the Lord. So they are glorifying the attachment and they are qualifying it. You have already an inclination to glorify the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality. Such attachment is difficult to achieve, very, very difficult to achieve. But one who has attained such unflinching faith in the Lord, it automatically cleanses. So what happens when you have such a attachment to the Lord? It automatically cleanses the lusty desire from the core of the heart. Even it goes to the core of the heart and cleans it. The word used for lusty desire is kashayam. Kashayam means, this is normally a word used for mineral colors. So normally there are watercolors, oil colors, like that. There are mineral colors. I don't know. You can close the sharing. There is a Tamil book. I don't know. It was a contemporary book written by one of the famous novelists. It was a very big novel. Kalki Krishnamurti wrote Ponniyin Selvan. There is a big novel. So the whole novel is about one secret. There will be two people, and one person is behind, helping the other person to just know the secret. The secret is those Jains and all those people were residing in caves. That too we see Ajanta caves and so many caves. Even in Madurai there is a cave where Jains will go to some small hill and they will create a cave and they reside there, because they were, after Shankaracharya came, they were not allowed to live so peacefully. And so they go to caves, and inside the caves they draw the diagrams. And they did not know how to draw diagrams, how to draw pictures. They did not have the pigment. So they were using some ordinary pigment, and the whole novel is about how to get a pigment which will not, where the picture will be long lasting. So the secret revealed is, if you go for a mineral paint, then it will very tough to remove. The word kashayam in Sanskrit means such a very deep-rooted picture in our heart. The whole Mahabharata is because of attachment of Dhritarashtra to his son. He knew that his son is doing complete nonsense. That too, in front of him, he is disrobing his sister-in-law. That itself enough to admonish Duryodhana or throw him away. But still, he was so attached to Duryodhana, so he is not able to see the other side. Whatever Duryodhana does, he allows the whole war. He sees the whole 64 crores people dying in front of him. Only because, the only one reason is Dhritarashtra's attachment to his son. And that attachment we can see in the first sloka of Bhagavad-gita, where his attachment comes out. You can clearly see that Mamaka Pandava, how my sons and Pandu's sons did. So the whole Mahabharata is because of the attachment. Once we come out of that attachment, we can see Krishna clearly. We are not able to see Krishna because we are having that attachment. And attachment is very, very dangerous. And we are not able to give up the whole, we are not able to take up seriously Krishna conscious because we feel safer, we are in comfort zone, because we are feeling so safer in our attachments. And that feeling of safeness is not coming with either with Krishna and his devotees, because we don't feel so emotionally connected to Krishna and his devotees. So since we are not able to give up, the whole Bhagavad-gita is only one word. It is about how to cut the attachment. And it is not neither about karma yoga, dhyana yoga, or even bhakti yoga. It is about how we are so attached and how we should give up that attachment. And Krishna concludes by saying that Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Aham Tam Sarva Papabhya Moksha Asminasya. So I thank all the devotees who has given me opportunities, particularly Narahari Prabhu, who safeguarded me by giving some association. And I'm very, very, very grateful for whatever he has done for me in my life. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So we can
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. So I would like to introduce about, many of the devotees may be knowing about Grace Muralishyam Prabhu. So I'd like to give a very brief introduction. Prabhuji is actually serving our mission from Sri Narasimha Giridhari temple, helping our Grace Varada Krishna Prabhu. In the last 2 years, Prabhuji is, I myself and my family have been personally benefited with the excellent 18 days program Prabhuji is leading and running. So I want to just give some a brief glimpse of what Prabhuji has been doing on that. Since last 2 years, since the advent of Corona across different parts of the world, Prabhuji has initiated this online preaching. I know about the Tamil language program which Prabhuji is leading. So my family and many of my friends have attended this, and they have been personally, their life have got transformed. So the volume at which this class is happening is really amazing and inspiring to all other devotees who want to do. So Prabhuji actually, Prabhuji is conducting 3 batches a day, Tamil program, 2 to 3 batches a day, and in each of the batches, about 600 to 700 participants attend. And they conduct a new batch every month, and this has been going on for about close to 2 years now. And after the initial 18 days, they also, the conversion rate is quite high. And most of them joined the advanced course. That also, Prabhuji is running, and he is bringing several senior devotees like his Grace Jagatshakshi Prabhu, who is giving his association. Again, in those sessions also, I see every Saturday or Sunday, and also in the morning, close to 1,000 devotees, they join through the Zoom. Another 500, 600 devotees, they join through YouTube. And apart from that, I think Prabhuji is also giving his association to all these newcomers during the morning, doing the chanting japa session and giving a very brief Bhagavatam class, like how we go to temple when we get the association. In the similar way, Prabhuji is giving that association to the newcomers during the morning session. Thank you, Prabhuji, for such a glorious service that you are doing, and many of the devotees whom I have been, many of my friends and relatives, they have been personally benefited, and their life is getting transformed. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for your wonderful service. And in today's session, Prabhuji talked about the, normally Prabhuji, in this class, we will, after the class ends, we will give a very brief summary of what the speaker has given, and then we will open up the forum for any question and answers, Prabhuji. Is that okay, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu, please.
So Prabhuji actually started the class today with the importance of powerful question and how questions should be asked. What is the nature of the question? What should be the topic of questions? The question should be powerful, and it should be always about Krishna. So, and how we should be asking the question. Prabhuji has given several examples from Srimad Bhagavatam, starting from Chaitanya Charitamrita, the conversation between Sanatana Goswami and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then how Parikshit Maharaj was sharing the questions, and how Suta Goswami was questioned, and how Narada Mahārāja received the questions, and how the questions between how Vidura has asked questions to Maitreya Muni, what is the content of these questions, how their questions were asked, and also Prabhuji very beautifully explained how we should be asking this question. Question itself is an art, and the question should be pleasing to the speaker, and it should not have any assumptions. We should not be putting our statement, our hidden agenda, or we should not be, sharing our opinions, putting the speaker in a difficult situation. So it should not be like that. Question should always be pleasing to the speaker, and it should be having a honest, innocent attempt to discover the answers instead of sharing our own answers. That is the real quality of question Prabhuji mentioned. And then Prabhuji also shared some practical perspective on how we can, how we should be establishing the relationship by asking right questions with right intentions with our seniors. Especially Prabhuji mentioned that in our current context, we may be having seniors, but we should have good equal relationship so that we can share the questions with the intention of sharing, seeking or discovering the answer. And then Prabhuji actually connected very beautifully how the questions from Pṛthu Mahārāja has actually pleased Sanat Kumāras, and how they started answering these questions. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. It was our immense joy to have our association today. I would like to open this forum for any questions from the devotees. Devotees may please unmute your line and you can share your question. Prabhuji has already given guidelines. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Muralishyam, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. So wonderful nectar in class today. I think you wonderfully explained how to ask question. Now should be curious and open, neutral, inviting. But if we can throw some light how to construct that question, because it becomes really practical to, construct such questions, we use such words, So if you can throw some light on that from your experience, would be great.
Experience is maybe a little different. Here, the first qualification should be innocent. So innocent means no need to construct questions. It should be as it is. When we construct question, automatically we lose the innocence. So the intention is simple. So it is not about constructing a question. It is about how not to ask in a wrong way. There is no question of asking in a right way. We may be stupid, let us be stupid. Our question be stupid. There's nothing wrong about being stupid.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry if it is hurted.
No.
Let me check the chat window, Prabhuji, or there any question.
Yeah.
Narahari Prabhu has shared Hari excellent realization. He thanks for your class.
So it should be up to 9 o'clock, or we can finish early if it finishes.
We can finish early if there are no questions from the devotees.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thanks a lot for the wonderful questions. Wonderful things about how to ask all those questions. So till now I have already, a lot of things are there in my mind, like why the Srimad Bhagavatam itself started with the questions. Like even though Vyasdev knows everything, still like he refers that like Savanaka Rishi, Sukadeva Goswami, like that everything. So why is it that Prabhuji, why he did not write the things that happened? Instead, like why he put everything in the question answers? Some things, sometimes it goes up to fourth level deep or fifth level deep.
So that's why I gave this shloka. It is about spirituality is about this thing. Spirituality is about what we should do with the Guru. With the Guru, this is the only thing done. We saw from 4.1 Bhagavad-gita 4 point. Tadvidi pranipadena pariprashnena sevya upadekshyanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshanara. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. So the only thing which we have to do is a spiritual master inquire from him submissively and render service to him. So spirituality is about asking questions. And to just ask questions, there are two other things. One is approaching humbly, and second thing is serving them. So it is not pranipadana or sevya. The most important thing is pariprashnena. The self-reliant soul can impart knowledge into you. So it is about their answers, because they have seen the truth. So spirituality is about only asking questions. And that's why Vyasadeva doesn't give any conclusion. He wants to, when a question is asked, he goes back and see who the same question when it was asked and when it was answered. So he quotes it. So spirituality is about asking questions. And in our mind, it is not that we don't ask questions. We are always asking questions in our mind. The whole mind, if you analyze it, is about question and answers in the mind only. So inquisitiveness is inbuilt in our consciousness itself.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Like one more thing which you mentioned, which I had doubt, like when I want to ask some question, I know that if it is coming in the negative way, which I don't want here, so I try to avoid all those questions. So how to come out of that mentality?
So that itself has to be asked as a question.
I mean, not asking question because we are not expecting. I mean, we expected that it's not pleasing to me in that sense. So is it that
we can ask if we, for example, we are not ready for an answer, and we can ask for questions. Even after asking questions, we are not ready to follow it. So we are not having that innocence. So we can ask not that question, but we can ask first questions about how to get ready for it, without asking the real question which we are not ready to face. But we can ask questions which we are ready to follow. No need to artificially ask and not follow again and again. But we can ask something which we are ready to follow.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thanks, sir. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna devotees, are there any other questions?
I think we can conclude.
Yes,
Thank you for giving me.
we can conclude with Vaishnava.
Thank you for bringing me again into a wonderful association. Otherwise, I'm in my club and I'm in a different world nowadays.
Thank you, Prabhuji. We will look forward to your association regularly and more often in the future, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. And thank Narayana Prabhu for giving me such a wonderful opportunity. My always dear friend and guide.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, devotees. We will meet again tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I'll be ending the Zoom session, devotees. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu.